We're going to meet with a lot of the foreign leaders. They want to meet. Trade deals are going very well. I think the tariff plan is doing very well. We're resetting the table. We're going to make our country very rich, very, very rich. It's already happening.
That was President Trump Friday ahead of his trip to Rome, saying that trade deals are going very well as the administration tries to tamp down the tariff uncertainty that has characterized the president's first 100 days in office. We're back with Dan Henninger, Kim Strassel, and Wall Street Journal editorial board member Kyle Peterson. So, Kim, let's start with that tariff question. Are things going very well on that front, as the president says?
I think things are going. I don't think things are going exactly the way the administration was hoping Liberation Day would go. And that seems to be the important recent understanding of this administration as we near the 100-day mark, is that this is, in making this the centerpiece of his economic agenda, all the headlines have now become the problems of tariffs, this wait and watch to see if there's any deals. Those things, by the way, can take years to cement if they're done right. And so I think you see wiser heads have prevailed, and the president is slowly backing away from some of that, at least de-emphasizing it. And you may see a new opportunity for that, too, as Congress returns next week and they have an opportunity to talk more about their tax agenda and some other aspects, which I think sell a lot better to the American people.
Kyle, what about the DOGE effort so far? You have Elon Musk, a lot of activity, claims about DOGE efforts, about $150 billion worth of savings so far, with about $1 trillion target by the end of the year. Is that real progress, or is Washington kind of defeating DOGE?
I think it can be some real progress. I think the proof is going to be in the pudding in some of this. They've laid off some people. They've had to bring back some of the people that they then laid off. And I think they're finding some savings, finding some efficiencies, finding some things that Americans would not support public money going toward and would consider waste or abuse, if not fraud. If they can get updates to some of these creaky government information systems in place, that would be, I think, a big step forward. There've long been stories about attempts to upgrade those computer systems that are running on ancient software, and sometimes they don't succeed, they fail. The government throws up its hands and says, we don't quite know how to upgrade this anymore. And that is their real expertise. I mean, I don't think they're going to come anywhere near the $2 trillion or $1 trillion savings figure that Elon Musk had held out at the beginning, but that doesn't mean that they're not doing some good work, as long as they don't break anything that Americans care about along the way.
All right, Dan, what do you think the best things the administration has done here in 100 days that they're maybe not getting credit for? Apart from border security, as Karl Rove said, you know, big achievement, and maybe not getting the credit they deserve for it, but it's still an achievement. What else are they doing that maybe isn't getting as much credit as the president deserves?
Yeah, well, I would say as a general proposition, the thing that he has done is shake up the status quo. Let's face it, there were a lot of Americans, especially during the Biden presidency, but going back before that, who are just dissatisfied with the federal status quo. They think things were just stuck in Congress, in Washington generally. Trump promised to do something about that, and boy, has he ever. I mean, there's been like over 100 executive orders on virtually anything one can imagine. You can agree or disagree, voters can agree or disagree with the direction of a lot of those executive orders, but there's no question that the Trump administration is trying to shake things up. A lot of that has become bogged down in the courts. I think there are something like over 80 court cases underway. The Trump people should have anticipated that, because a lot of what they're doing in areas like diversity, equity, and inclusion challenge certain legal ideas. They're pushing the boundaries of presidential authority, which is undoubtedly going to be settled eventually by the Supreme Court. I think a lot of Americans do like that. They want to see some successes eventually. This is not going to be able to go on at this level forever, but they do appreciate that Donald Trump has come in there and decided not to do business as usual.
Kim, as I read your column this week on the first 100 days, I thought I heard you saying, maybe cautiously, that maybe this president needs to pivot, maybe needs a reset. In some direction. What do you mean by that?
Look, the first couple of months, Paul, I think was a model of the beginning of a presidency. It was pretty groundbreaking, day after relentless day of these initiatives and reforms that Americans largely agreed with. They've got bogged down more recently with this tariff discussion. Also, some scandals or questions, in particular in the Department of Defense. And some of that comes from Donald Trump varying from the things that he knows works. Look, the first administration, it was successful, and he was reelected in large part because he ran a Reagan-esque administration, low taxes, lots of deregulation, and it made for a great economy. This walk down in the tariff lane, it's not what Americans wanted from him. It's feeding into his polls. And I think it's mostly, Paul, it's a question of emphasis. And they've got to get back to the things that they know Americans want.
When you impose as big a tax increase as the tariffs represent and introduce business uncertainty, you're going to have an impact on the economy. And I think that's one of the big problems he has to get around.